Hello everyone, welcome back to our math class. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss the end behavior of polynomial. We are going to discuss what's the definition of this, and we're going to use the two graphs here to analyze the end behavior of a polynomial. So let's check the definition first. End behavior is actually used to describe how does y changes when x approaches to infinity. So this word actually means, simple words is, when we talk about end behavior, it's actually talking about the ending part of the graph, meaning when x go to the very right side, we say in positive infinity, or when x approach to the very left side, which is negative infinity, what happened to y? This idea will help us to have a very good idea regarding the trending for the graph, and in the future, we'll learn pre-calculus, you have this idea called infinity. So let's check the first example here and see what can we use, what can we do based on the graph to analyze the end behavior. So although we are going to, my plan for this video is also we can use this video to quickly review the idea we mentioned before regarding zeros of function, increasing or decreasing interval. However, to make it more clear, we are going to analyze the end behavior first, and then we're going to move on to the review part, okay? So the end behavior, we're talking about the ending part, which is in math. We is actually talking about when x is getting smaller and smaller, which is meaning to the negative infinity, which also means the left side of the graph. And we're also going to check to the right side, means x to the positive infinity. So let's check. So when x approaching to the negative infinity, meaning the left side of the graph, as you can see, the y is actually going down. And when we go to the right side of the graph, which is positive infinity, y actually goes up. So that's a trend, as you can see the ending. Whatever happened in between, up and down or multiple waves, that's not the concern when we talk about end behavior. So two sentences we actually describe. As x approaching to the negative infinity, which is the left side of the graph, y goes down. And as x approaching to the positive infinity, which is the right side of the graph, y goes up. Then how do we translate this into the math languages? Here, left side, let me put a little L here, as x approach to negative infinity, which is left side, as we can see, y goes down, so y is approaching to the negative infinity. And for the right side, x approaching to the positive infinity, y goes to up. So y goes up, so that's why it's positive infinity, okay? So that's a translation, that's a math symbol we use to describe the end behavior. This is two statements here, always start with these two indicating the directions we're going, but y is actually the major part we need to analyze. Okay, so now I'm going to use a different color to review the idea we mentioned about increase and decreasing interval. So when we talk about the increasing or decreasing interval, we always analyze from the left to right. So that's a little bit different from end behavior. End behavior, we're looking at the two directions, but for increasing or decreasing, we check from left to right. So let's check. As you can see, let's trace the graph. So from the left to right, it's going up, then it's going down. Oh, I plan to use a different color. So goes down, and then it goes up again. So if you check this, we can just use a little divider to divide the graph from the turning point to indicate the changing between each part. So for the increasing part, as you can see, we have two pieces. So it's from negative infinity to here, 3, because this is where the graph turns. And another one is from 11 to positive infinity. Okay, so that's a up part. And then for the decreasing part, as you can see, which is in between here, so that means it's actually from 3 to 11. Okay, so that's what happened here. For zeros for function, it's actually from where the graph touched x-axis, which is negative 11, and, oh, sorry, negative 1 and 11, so we just write it down. Okay, now, based on the discussion we have, we are going to quickly review the second graph, but this time I will go a little bit faster so you have a better understanding for that, okay? So again, start with end behavior. We go to the left side, which is negative infinity. And the right side, which is positive infinity, as you can see, y both goes up. So our sentence will has, as x approach to negative infinity, the y approach to the positive infinity because y goes up. And then as x to the positive infinity, which is the right side, let's label this to indicate this is the left and right side, y still goes up, so y approaching to the positive infinity. For the increasing and decreasing, this time, remember, we check from graph left to right. So we trace the graph from decreasing, then increasing again, then decreasing, then increasing. So I feel like probably it's easier if you just look at the graph based on the different pieces. As you can see, this is a little divider we have here. We have actually, this time we have actually 4 pieces. Oh, sorry for the graph is not so straight. Okay, so as you can see, we have 4 pieces. 2 goes up, 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 and 2 goes down, down. So let's write down the increasing and decreasing interval very quickly. Increasing, as you can see, from -7 to 2. If you cannot see the graph clearly, you can definitely pause the video and double check the graph in the more details here. The right side is from 11 to positive infinity. And for decreasing, as you can see, is the blue part is negative infinity because it's from the very left side to -7. And we have another piece is from 2 to 11. Okay, so it's always starting at the turning point. Now, zero function, this time we have only 2 values because it's intercept with x-axis, so which is -12 and 16. If you pay attention to the detail of the graph, this is it. If you cannot see the graph clearly, definitely pause video, zoom in, then you probably have a better understanding for that. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video and study the end behavior with me. I hope this video is helpful. Now you have better understanding regarding how to analyze the different components of the graph for a polynomial. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon, everyone.